Today we're taking a look at HiFi Rose's new RS451 streamer. Price-wise, it falls between their flagship RS151 and RS250A, and like them, it's a powerful analog and digital preamp as well. The RS451 has fantastic sounding digital decoding via dual ESS SABRE ES9027PRO DACs, one for the preamp output and one for its built-in high-performance headphone amp. It also has analog and digital inputs and outputs that make it super versatile, plus HiFi Rose's signature user-friendly touchscreen control and 4K video streaming features. Let's talk about those last two items because, along with stellar sound quality, which we'll talk about later, they're what sets this streamer apart. First, the touchscreen control. This and more often full-color displays are things you see more mainstream audio companies getting into, but I have yet to see anything that compares to HiFi Rose's phone or tablet-style interface. I had a chance to test their RS151 at home a while back, so I've had some time to play with this proprietary Android-based operating system, and I love it. The RS451 screen is a bit smaller than the RS151's, but it works the same way, like a smartphone. I was able to set this unit up on my home network, enter credentials for my music streaming subscription service, Qobuz, and start playing music within minutes and without ever needing to use my phone to make it happen. Likewise, once you've got it set up, when you want to play music, you can just walk up to the streamer and very quickly tap your way to playing what you want to play. You can search for stuff on a keyboard you can actually see on keys that are actually bigger than your fingertips. If you've got music files on network-attached storage, you can access it through the touchscreen. Need to change input or output settings? You can do it from the touchscreen. And it's not just a bunch of generic menus. Inputs and outputs appear as a virtual back panel. When you're navigating music in Spotify, Tidal, Qobuz, Apple Music, and others, it feels like you're using those apps natively. It's just a very familiar and intuitive experience. It uses proprietary apps that come pre-installed or are available in the Rose store, which you access through the app on the touchscreen or in the Rose Connect Premium phone app settings. The store's collection of apps is not overwhelming. There are only a dozen or so. One of the coolest apps is RoseTube, which, as I've experienced it, is a vast commercial-free library of YouTube's music-focused video content, which brings me to the RS451's 4K video features. So you can watch RoseTube video content on the touchscreen, which can be kind of cool. But it's even cooler when you use the HDMI output to play video content on your TV, projector, or even just a monitor. You can also play video from network-attached storage or a drive attached to one of the USB inputs or installed on the SSD bay that's built into the bottom of the unit. Okay, let's talk about other connections. It's got optical and coaxial digital outputs, but I think most people will use its analog outputs, and if you've got a compatible amp, you'll probably want to use the stereo balanced XLR over the unbalanced RCA to get the cleanest, clearest audio signal. Headphone lovers can choose between three selectable outputs on the front panel. There's a standard, full-size, plus balanced 4mm and XLR outputs. For inputs, you get one analog stereo RCA input, and as you might expect, given the high-quality 32-bit 768 kHz digital to analog decoding, the digital inputs are more extensive and include optical, coaxial, HDMI ARC for 2-channel TV sound, and USB-B for computer audio. The way I set this up at home is a little unusual. I powered it with a Cambridge MXW70, which is a compact power amplifier with balanced XLR inputs. That means I got to use the very nice chunky volume knob on the RS451, although you can also control it with the included remote or the free Rose Connect Premium Control app. I used my vintage Dynaco 825 stand mount speakers. I usually use this setup in a medium-sized listening room, but with different streamers, a Bluesound Node and most recently a WIM Ultra. Both of those are excellent streamers, but the improvement in sound quality with the RS451 was immediately obvious. I listened to the Slider album from T-Rex and heard impressively clear separation and detail, plus satisfyingly substantial, tight bass. It really highlighted Mark Bolan's crunchy guitar tone as well as Tony Visconti's production, which gave me a new appreciation of the beautiful balance of spontaneity and polish that make this album a classic. I also listened to the Kronos Quartet's Early Music album, which is a cool mix of very old compositions and works written for the string quartet. It also features a bunch of guest musicians playing different instruments like the bagpipe and harmonium. And the RS451 delivered a beautiful and lifelike soundstage of the ensemble recording with impressive clarity and warmth. My takeaway here is that I sometimes look at premium audiophile components like the RS451 and think, the rest of my system won't do this thing justice. But it absolutely brought out the best in my vintage speakers and this little Cambridge power amp. If I got the streamer today, it would absolutely improve the sound quality in my setup. And if I want to upgrade the amplification or speakers down the line, so much the better. To sum it up, the RS451 is a luxury audiophile component streamer and preamp, and its price reflects that. It sounds fantastic, whether you're wirelessly streaming or playing through one of its source inputs, and its Android-based touchscreen control puts it in a small but growing category of streamers for the modern age. I love the graphical user interface and hope we'll see it become more common. And the unique 4K video features in the RS451 and other HiFi Rose components with touchscreen control put them in something of their own class. I really enjoyed having this unit in my home set up for a couple of weeks, and I'll miss it when it's gone. If you want to learn more about the HiFi Rose RS451 or any of the other gear I've mentioned, get in touch with us here at Crutchfield.